Welcome to another edition of the Stripe Show podcast. It's usually a Froggy Wednesday, but today you get me on a Monday, and I'm going to go over something real quick here. Our guest today, when I start reading off the awards that he won in just 2022, it's going to sound like I'm reading off Tiger Woods' wins for his career. He was the 2022 Haskins Award winner, 2022 Jack Nicklaus Award winner, first team All-American, Big 12 Golfer of the Year, closed the 22 season as the #1 golfer in the country. Chris Gotterup, thank you so much for taking time to come on the podcast, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
So out of the box, I mean, you started at Rutgers, transferred to OU, out of the box, your first tour event, you finished T7. Was that even a little bit of a surprise to you?
Yes and no. Yes, because, it's just the next stage and you never really know what to expect. But no, because that was the college event that I won at Puerto Rico, and it was at the same course, so I knew I could play well on it. So I kind of got lucky in that respect, but obviously it's different when you got a little bit of a bigger stage.
Oh, for sure. Now, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, you see that Chris is in the car. He's doing it very, very safely. The phone is secured to the dash, and he's driving. He's paying attention to where he's going, but he's actually on the way to the Pro-Am for this week's Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, it's the tour life. You can't. Not too much time. I landed last night in Detroit and headed to the Pro-Am right now. So
that's crazy.
But glad to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's an honor to play golf for a living. Too many people kind of forget, I think, that you are playing golf for a living.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's only been 2 months for me, but I kind of have to catch myself every once in a while and say, if I get down on myself or something goes wrong, I got to catch myself and say, all my friends are working office jobs right now in New York City, and I'm out in Minnesota playing golf. So it's a good gig.
Ain't that the truth? So speaking of your friends in New York, so you were at Rutgers. You did Rutgers for 3 years, and then transferred to OU. What was the reason for the transfer?
So I actually did 4 years, and I graduated from there. And the reason for the transfer is really just because of COVID. If COVID doesn't happen, I'm not at Oklahoma, and my life's probably a little different. So, I just wanted to transfer because I knew if I was going to play tour golf, I needed to be able to travel and test myself against the best of the best. So, and that's what I did, and I'm happy it worked out the way it did. So, yeah, it was a tough decision because I really liked Rutgers, and as I've said before, I don't get to Oklahoma without Rutgers, and I don't get to where I am without both of these schools. So it's a good mix of everything, to be honest.
Right, that's awesome that you can look back and see that you did. Rutgers served its purpose, and then got you to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma served its purpose, and now you're a PGA Tour player.
Hopefully, working on it.
No way. So far you've got a T7. You've got a T4. You played well again this week at the 3M. Talk about the 3M a little bit. So Scott Piercy runs out to a huge, huge lead. I mean, 5 shots is a big lead on a Sunday. And then things kind of went south, and it was difficult to watch. Finau with the win. How difficult was the golf course playing yesterday? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it was tough. It was blowing probably 20 miles an hour, and there was just a lot of tucked pins. In the first couple of days, their pins weren't as tough as they were. There's just a lot of water, and there's a lot that could go wrong out there. It's not like an overly hard course, but if you're not on, there's a lot that can go wrong. And then you add 20 miles an hour of wind. It's not, it's definitely a great course to be behind on it. I wouldn't want to, have to sit on a lead with some of the tee shots you have to hit.
Now, you showed some resolve. You didn't play great on Thursday. Friday started off with 2 bogeys, but then, you put a really good round together and were able to play the weekend.
Yeah, I took a week off before this week, and, to be honest, I probably wasn't as sharp as I needed to be coming in, and it definitely showed at the start. So once I got my feet underneath me a little bit, it was nice to rebound, and I'm just kind of excited to get some good momentum into this week.
Let's go back to that T4. at the John Deere Classic and your sponsor letter. A lot of talk about that sponsor letter. Talk about that and the fact that it was a very well written sponsor letter, but it got you in the event, and then you made the most of it and finished high.
Yeah, I wrote letters like that to basically all the events that I knew I was going to have a chance at getting into. So it was definitely, that was definitely one of the ones that I knew I had a good shot at getting into, and I knew what that tournament does with their sponsors exemptions and how important they are to that event, and I just wanted to be a part of it. And it was an amazing week, and it worked out better than I could have imagined. So I'm just thankful that I have good people in my corner, and they were able to help me out, and especially to John Deere as well to get me in the event.
Now, Chris, maybe you can talk to what are the biggest differences that you notice, whether it's obviously the galleries is obviously one of them. But I mean, as far as playing, what's the biggest difference in college golf and tour golf?
The margins are way slimmer. It's just, one shot is worth a hell of a lot more than what one shot's worth in college. One shot out here is a big difference, and you don't have as much time to make up the ground. The courses just aren't as easy as if you make a bogey coming down the stretch, in college you have probably a couple more coming in where you can get some back, and here you're kind of reeling, and you don't really have too much of a chance to gain some back unless it's a super easy course, but most of them aren't like that. So you got to go out here and earn it. You're not going to get handed anything, that's for sure.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday with Piercy. I mean, he made 2 pars on the back. He parred 10, he parred 18. Between that, it was a wild ride. And he's somebody who's a seasoned vet, previous winner on the PGA Tour. So it speaks to exactly what you're saying is it can get sideways quick. And when it does get sideways, sometimes it's hard to straighten it back out again, and you've already given up your lead.
Yeah, exactly. There's no room for error. That's how I would describe it.
Now, what is it that you think makes it so guys like you, for example, with the success you've seen, we've seen Hovland, we've seen Morikawa come out of the box. He's won 2 majors, had a lot of success. What is it that's making it so young guys coming directly from college into the tour are having amazing success so early, much faster than they did before?
I think it's because college golf's changing. I think people realize, how good these guys are in college. And I think with all the TV coverage that you're starting to see in college golf, it just makes, the atmosphere of, the TV, the infrastructure of all that stuff, it just makes it not as stressful. It's still stressful, but you're a little more used to it. So when you get out there, you're not shell shocked by everything that's going on around you. Because that's the biggest thing is there's so much exterior stuff going on at these events that no one sees on TV coverage that can really kind of throw you off if you're not paying attention. And with college golf, we've started to get a little bit of that, and it just makes it a little more comforting.
So what was the biggest adjustment for you when you did, obviously in your mind, playing the Puerto Rico event, you had in your mind what your first tour event was going to be like, but what was the biggest difference to you that was different than what you thought it would be?
That one's kind of tough because it's a pretty far away event and there's not that many fans there. And I was just super comfortable there. So, honestly, it was probably the best event for me to start at just because I was super comfortable already where that course was.
Mm-hmm.
But, the next one up in Canada, I was uncomfortable to say the least. And I definitely learned a lot that week about, just the travel aspect and all the other stuff that goes into a week, whether it's, preparing during the week and not overdoing it, hitting a ton of range balls. And it's just, there's fine lines and everything. And I'm starting to figure out a little bit of how the travel works and how I got to prepare Monday through Wednesday for Thursday through Sunday.
Now, you mentioned the RBC up in Canada. Things did not go as well as they had gone in Puerto Rico. And obviously that was different golf course, completely different atmosphere. Everything's different. But so far in the short time that you've been on the tour, what would you say your biggest accomplishment is? Would it be making the weekend at the U.S. Open? Would it be the T4 at the John Deere Classic?
I would say there's so many little victories along the way. I mean, obviously John Deere is the marquee one, I would say, but
Right.
yeah, making the cut at the U.S. Open, that was my first cut I ever made, and it was a major. It was the coolest week that we've had so far for sure, just with the whole experience, and it was pretty insane. And then obviously last week, 6 over through 20 holes and come back and make the cut. It's just
Yeah.
the little things like that. They kind of just give you a little momentum boost.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys 6 over through 20 holes are just cashing it in and going, all right, I'm going to finish these last 16 holes and get ready for next week. But you didn't. You got back in, played the weekend, had a good finish.
Yeah, and that's kind of what this whole stretch has been about for me. It's I'm trying to earn my keep out here, and I need to fight for every stroke I got. And if I want to chase a tour card, I gotta earn every point I can. So whether it's going good or bad, I'm gonna fight to the death of it. That's for sure.
Now, as far as earning a tour card, where are you on that? Because you've got a T7, you've got a T4, you've got a 31st this past week, you got a cut made at the U.S. Open. Where are you in the in the line of getting your PGA Tour card and playing?
Well, unfortunately, the T7 doesn't count because I was an AM then.
Oh,
I wish it did, because then I'd be a lot closer. I still got a good chance. I mean, I got 2 weeks to play really well and see what happens. But yeah, the T7 not counting kind of hurts, but it just keeps you hungry for more. So yeah, I'm in a great spot. I can't complain about anything. So I'm just happy where I'm at, and hopefully put 2 good weeks together coming down the stretch here.
no, Chris, you're absolutely a long ball hitter. I know you've had some 200-mile-per-hour ball speed, which at one time seemed unattainable, but now is becoming not the norm. But we are seeing more people reaching that. Um, do you feel that length is a great advantage on the tour game?
Yeah, for sure. It obviously only helps if you're hitting it straight, so I try to keep it as straight as I can. But um, there's no question that distance helps. You got like a hole last week, like hole 9. It's a 500-yard par four. I was playing with someone who hit a 5 iron in, and I hit an 8 iron in with water, right? And it's just a different. It just there's a different mental aspect of hitting a 5 iron to an 8 iron,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just easier. So obviously, with a little more speed comes a little more waywardness, and hopefully I try to keep it on the straight and narrow as much as I can. But there's no question it's an advantage.
Now, as far as you hit it now, are you trying to hit it further, or are you more worried about hitting it straight?
No, I'm not trying to. I'm trying to probably maintain with what I got. I try to work out with intent to keep it where it's at, but not overdo it, because I don't want to hurt myself either. So um, I'm comfortable with where I'm at right now, and hopefully you can just maintain it.
Yeah, because longevity is obviously something to be said too. It's great to hit it far right now, but if you hit it far and then in 3 or 4 or 5 years you've hurt yourself, that doesn't bode well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got to ask you, obviously, because it is the talk of every single golf conversation that anybody's having now. Obviously, we've all got our opinions on Live, and I've been extremely open about my opinion of Live. I understand why some guys are going. I don't like where the money's coming from. That's really my biggest issue. I have no problem with the tour having competition. Competition's good for everybody. But has Live Golf approached you? And the reason I asked that is because we had Chikara on, and Chikara
Yeah.
was going to stay for another year at Oak State, and then all of a sudden, obviously something changed. I know his coach is Sergio. He probably had Sergio in his ear, and the money became a little bit better than maybe what they were offering in the beginning, and he left. Has Live Golf have they approached you? One, and number two, is that something you'd be interested in?
I haven't heard anything about it, so I guess the answer is no. So, and to be honest, I don't even have the time to really even think about it right now, and I could care less about it, to be honest. I like you said, I understand where the guys are going, and it's some ridiculous amount of money that I think any person in the world would accept. And like you said, I don't like where the money's coming from. There's a lot of things that have kind of happened over the years and
Right.
whatnot. But yeah, I like where I'm at right now, and hopefully I can earn a spot to stay where I'm at right now. And yeah, I like the PGA Tour right now. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool because probably I would think that you've grown up your whole life wanting to be on the PGA Tour. Imagine you started playing golf at a young age and you have all this time been like, oh, this is a putt to win this tournament, or this is a putt to win the Masters, or this is a putt for that. And so you've always dreamed of playing on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I mean, when you grow up as a kid playing golf, that's what you watch on TV. You don't watch anything else. So um, that's where you want to be, and to have a chance to be there is pretty cool. And that's kind of all I'm worried about right now.
Yeah, and to have your name alongside a trophy that's got other legends on it, guys that you watched growing up, has got to make you feel damn good.
Yeah, hopefully we get there.
So, I mean, it really is. The tour's done a great job. I know there's a lot of schedule changes coming up, and that's obviously been a good thing as well, giving guys there will actually be kind of a down season, off season now, where we haven't had that for some time.
Yeah, and that's I'm obviously new to this, but it is definitely a grind. These guys are going 30 weeks out of the year, some of them, and maybe even a little less here and there, but it's a lot. It's 7 days. There's no off day if you're playing good. So yeah, I think a little somehow if you can schedule a little more downtime. I know it's hard with how the schedule works, but yeah, that'd be the only thing that I've heard. Obviously I'm in a different spot, but that's the only thing I've heard from players and whatnot.
Yeah, I feel like you're in a position now where hell, you'll just want to play as much golf as you can play, as much as you can qualify for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're on the way to on your way to your pro-am now. How many pro-ams have you done so far for the tour?
Um, I've played in, I think I've played in 7 events. So I've played in like 4 or 5. I've had a couple travel issues where I've missed a couple pro-ams, but I've done probably 4 or 5.
How have your pro-am partners been? Because that's kind of a that's a
Yeah,
shot in the dark.
yeah, it is. I've had some good ones, honestly. You obviously get one or two that aren't great, but yeah, they've all been really fun to be around, and that's kind of the most important part. As long as they understand what's going on, and obviously I'm there to help them, and kind of be entertainment for them for the day. So it's fun. I enjoy talking and meeting new people because you never know who you're gonna meet.
Right. I know practice rounds are very different than a pro-am round. Do you get much work in on the golf course as far as preparing for the event in a pro-am, or are you more there to entertain?
I'm kind of there to just walk it. I wouldn't say I get a lot of work in, but I just get a lot of like visual stuff done. Just looking at the course and checking it out, and kind of seeing what I like, and what I need to maybe work on the range or whatnot. But I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of work getting done. It's just kind of more of a fun thing than anything.
Right. Well, I know you're on the way. I know we're up against the clock as well. So real quick before I let you go, we do what we call an E9. We're going to get quick 9 holes in here. I'm going to ask you 9 questions, and you just give me the first thing that comes to your mind. Some have to do with golf. Some don't have a damn thing to do with golf. All right. Number one, who do you feel is the best ball striker on the PGA Tour?
Gosh, I don't know. Finau's pretty good.
He is. Yeah, especially after yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Your favorite sports team or favorite athlete?
I don't know. I'm not a huge like team fan. I probably like the Knicks the most if I had to pick a team. The favorite athlete probably Tiger.
Tiger. Okay. I can go along with that one. Number 3, go-to food on the road.
Chipotle really never fails. You can always get something good in you from there. So that's probably that.
All right. The most famous number in your cell phone.
Famous number in my cell phone. Um, Gosh, maybe Justin Tuck.
Justin Tuck. All right. That's good. That's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know if you had any famous golfers in your phone.
Yeah,
Because
I
you
don't
see,
know.
that's to you, they're not really famous. They're like, hey, they're friends now.
I know, yeah, that's kind of. I have some guys on my phone that I kind of just hang out with now. That I don't know. It's how you view, like how I view someone's probably different than how someone else views someone. So,
Right.
I don't know.
All right. Other than Tiger, because that seems to be the most answer. So I got to roll Tiger out. Other than Tiger, player you'd be most nervous to be paired with on tour.
I don't know if I'd get nervous. I mean, I would say probably the most followed person, like spectator wise, is Rory. So I wouldn't say nervous, but like I would probably get the most excited to play with him, just because like everything that comes with it. It's not that you're just playing with him, but you're playing in front of 10 people deep crowds.
Right. That's awesome. If you weren't a pro golfer, what would you be doing?
I'd probably be working in New York City right now, sitting in front of the computer.
Dumbest thing you've heard or seen from a fan on the PGA Tour?
Well, I don't know if I have a fan, but actually last week I have a volunteer, if that counts.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, so this guy that was driving our car out after the weather delay, he was driving the whatever van and hit a fence and ripped the side of the van, like the thing that covers the wheel, ripped it right off. So that was pretty entertaining.
What was his reaction?
He didn't say a word. He acted like it was supposed to happen, and we were dying laughing in the back. It was pretty funny.
Who was in the van with you?
It was me and my group, so the 3 caddies and 3 players from Thursday, Friday.
Oh my God, that's awesome. In the gym, you're a cardio or a weight guy?
Wait, I hate cardio.
You hate cardio. And last but not least, music on the golf course, yes or no, and what genre?
Yeah, I'm a big music guy. I like country and EDM, and those are my top 2.
Yeah, I'm a big country fan as well too. I love playing golf, putting little like Luke Bryan or Kenny Chesney or some of those guys on, man. That just makes the round so much better. Well, Chris, thank you so much for your time, man. Really appreciate it. So what's your schedule moving forward? Obviously, we'll see you this week at the Rocket Mortgage, and where can we see you even more?
I'll be playing Wyndham next week, and then TBD after that. So we'll see, but definitely these next 2 weeks, and then we'll go from there.
So if you have a good week at the Rocket Mortgage and a good week at the Wyndham, you could qualify for the first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs.
I'd have to win one of the 2 to be in the playoffs, but
okay.
Yeah, that's the only way you can get into the playoffs in my position.
Okay. But then after that, you'll be playing some of the fall series events.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Awesome, good deal. Well, Chris, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Good luck at your pro-am. Hope you get some good dudes, and good luck this week at the Rocket Mortgage.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, man. Very, 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 very much. Appreciate it.